This program is paid for by Golden Reserve.
The proceeding was paid for by Accurate Solutions. Information on the program was intended to solely further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. News Radio KDKA does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information heard in the preceding program.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 57 degrees in Pittsburgh International at 11 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. 3 people were taken to the hospital following a 2-vehicle crash on Saturday night on the south side. Happened around 8:30 in the 3200 block of East Carson Street. Pittsburgh police say an SUV and electric vehicle collided. SUV overturned, struck a light pole. 2 people were trapped inside the overturned SUV, while a third person who was inside was able to get out on their own. Paramedics removed the roof of the SUV to get to the 2 trapped individuals. Of the 3 people taken to the hospital, 1 was transported in critical condition. The driver of the electric vehicle did not suffer any injuries. The crash is under investigation. Several people are facing charges after a 17-year-old girl who was reported missing out of Beaver County on Friday was found safe Saturday in Ohio. New Sewickley Township Police say Isabella Phillips was reported missing Friday after she was last seen walking in the area of Glen Eden Road and Ziegler Road, but Saturday she was found safe in the central Ohio area. New Sewickley Police say, quote, several people are facing criminal charges in connection with the incident, but no further details were given. 3 people were arrested after an incident in Glassport Saturday afternoon that resulted in an officer being bitten by a dog, a pit bull. Glassport police responded to the 600 block of Cherry Way around 3:45. It was for a disturbance when the dog bit the officer in the leg. The officer fired 1 shot at the dog, striking the dog. The dog had to be transported to a vet in Monroeville. The officer was taken to a local hospital. Dog's 2 owners and another person were arrested after allegedly becoming irate at the scene. KDKA Radio News Time are coming up on 11:03. The AccuWeather forecast coming up.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensated for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
Progressive knows you've got enough to worry about in life.
Hi, it's your life again. Feel like another year is just slipping away? Yeah, remember all those New Year's resolutions you made? You still haven't finished the first book. Just 19 more to go. I mean, if we're being honest, it wasn't a very realistic goal. Have you ever considered that you intentionally self-sabotage? So what's that about?
So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and almost 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. And if you think this is just a cosmetic problem, think again. Varicose or spider veins, if left untreated, can lead to swollen or discolored legs, cramping, the inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, even worse, blood clots, which can travel to other parts of your body. But here's the good news. Advanced Medical Vein Treatment Centers offers plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up. Grab your phone, take down this number, and call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your vein problems will not go away on their own, and in time can lead to major health issues. Call Advanced Medical Vein today for free information on fast and easy solutions that are covered by most insurance plans, Medicare included. Call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248 today.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings sunshine much of the time and a breezy and less cool end to the weekend with a high of 66 ahead of a clear and rather chilly night for tonight with a low dropping all the way down to 44. That sets up for another warmer day tomorrow with hazy sun and a high of 74. With more hazy sun, warmer Tuesday, high 84. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM at AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli.
On Wednesday, Pittsburgh residents were reminded of the sad state of city bridges with the emergency shutdown of the Heron Avenue Bridge. Inspected every 6 months, it was found to be deteriorating faster than expected. It is a good thing the bridge was closed, but also raises the question, is the city doing everything possible to expedite bridge repair? The evidence is not reassuring. In recent years, the Anderson Bridge was closed due to safety concerns. It is expected to reopen by fall of 2026. Next, the Panther Hollow Bridge was closed for similar reasons. It may reopen this year. There's no word yet on how long the Heron Avenue Bridge will be closed. One can't help but remember how quickly the Fern Hollow Bridge was replaced after it collapsed. Is it unreasonable to ask how the current projects can move at a faster pace? We say neglect of infrastructure by successive administrations requires the incoming mayor to make bridge rehab a top priority.
This has been an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli. To view a transcript, go to kdkaradio.com.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Brought to you by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, this is like the sardine cans that my dad used to get. They were overstuffed and packed to the hilt. No room for anything. That's this show today. So we're going to go fishing and spend a little time with some incredible guests. And we've got one coming up in just about 10 minutes. And to lead off today's show, to tell you who that will be, here he is from Diolis Law and Milk and Honey Sports Entertainment, Mr. Greg Diolis. But before we do that, thoughts and prayers to your mom, her family, on the passing of her father.
Yeah, to my wife and my mother-in-law. Yeah, so my father-in-law Carmen Gonot passed away this past week, and after a tough battle, and he fought a good fight. He's a good man. I owe him a lot, and wish him the best. 88
years, also a former teacher in the Pittsburgh Public Schools, and be the Slater Funeral Home tomorrow, then Mass of Christian Burial the next day. So to Pam and her family, and obviously their children, meaning Greg and Pam, and all the significant others, nieces and nephews, thoughts and prayers go out for Big Carmen, who passed away at the age of 88.
Thank you, Rob.
All right, listen, now I want to talk about this guy we have coming up. Greenfield Baseball Association, the oldest youth baseball in Pittsburgh, been around forever, and on June 10th, the Buccos are going to honor this guy for 60 years of helping the kids.
Yeah, I think our listeners will enjoy Jim Gregg, a guy that's somewhat of a Greenfield legend in a number of youth sports, baseball being primary in what he did with the Little League and Pony League and for a number of years, and also as a basketball coach at St. Rosalia Grade School. So I think everyone will enjoy what he has to impart in some pearls of wisdom for us.
All right, now let's talk about another story out of North Allegheny. Now, it wasn't like he put it into the bleachers, but his parents were on hand. Cole Young from NA made his major league debut, and he had a little sacrifice that forced a run in, and they get the win. So congratulations to that young man for Seattle getting a victory. Not in over-dramatic style, but still he gets a big position, big opportunity, and makes the most of it.
They don't draw pictures in the scorebook, Rob. It was a walk-off hit. He did what needed to be done, right? And that's all you can do. So congratulations to him, and hopefully the first of many big opportunities for him.
All right, so Josh Harrison. I didn't even know he was still playing baseball.
I don't think he was still playing. He just announced his retirement.
Okay, good.
So he's basically saying, "Hey, nobody wants me anymore. I'm officially done."
You know, he had a couple of good years here in Pittsburgh.
He had some real fun years. You remember some of the rundowns he got into in one of the last years? I mean, he would keep himself alive and kind of like go matrix and shapeshift and avoid tags and get to the next base. He was one of those guys that was really fun to watch. Played hard, gave it his most all the time.
All right, let's talk about the Dodgers. You know, I got to be honest with you. I'd much rather have the Pirates than to deal with this team who making all this money and spending all this money and just annihilating people. When you put up 18 runs against the New York Yankees, That's almost like the $6 million man at every position. I mean, come on, Greg. This is getting ridiculous.
Well, is that kind of like serving notice that, hey, if because everybody's thinking those are the World Series, the participants this year, and maybe they were kind of serving notice that we're going to pound on you as many times as possible. But baseball can be a funny game. That could turn completely different today, and it'd be an 18-run score the opposite way.
So explain to me about Ohtani, who's been doing a little pitching of late, getting ready to maybe, as they predicted, late May, early June, back in the rotation. This deferred money of his. So when will he actually start collecting the big money? I mean,
as I understand it, it's not deferred out into the stratosphere. It's deferred really kind of like until the end of this contract. Not all of the money. Now there's probably literally hundreds of millions of dollars that will be collected during the process. But it's all for accounting purposes and within collective bargaining agreements. So I actually have not caught myself up on all of the details of it, but it's deferral purposes for tax and other reasons. And so that his interpreter can't gamble it all away.
Well, listen, if you had your money on the Knicks, you're crying in your beer today. It wasn't really a good couple of hours for the Knicks and the Yankees as of yesterday. Knicks get obliterated by the Indiana Pacers. And they're going to move on now to take on the league's MVP and OKC in the NBA championship for the Larry O'Brien Trophy beginning Thursday. And we're going to have a basketball guy on at the bottom of the hour to talk about it. One Andy Toole, of course, O'Toole, I like to say, but it's actually Andy Toole, but I like to throw a little Irish flavor into it. He'll be here at the bottom of the hour. And speaking of the Irish flavor, how about the Steelers? We had the folks on from AAA yesterday. Larry's going to be there. Marita Williams is going to be there. Friends of mine from AAA. They're going to be headed over to Dublin to watch the Steelers play in Ireland. And this thing is like almost sold out except a few seats left. That's going to be gangbusters over there to be with a bunch of Steeler fans tailgating games at 9:30 in the morning, their time. Of course, our time around 1:30. That's going to be a really cool event, man.
It's no wonder that Larry Richards able to talk about interview Andrew Lloyd Webber, and talk about the Phantom of the Opera and all that stuff and all the artsy stuff that he does. And then he's just a world traveler. He kind of weasels his way into all these fun trips. He had a trip previously with Bruno Sammartino back to his hometown of Pizzaferrato in Italy, and now taking the trip to Ireland with the Steelers. It should be a great time.
The only reason he's going because he really is a leprechaun. You've never seen the Lucky Charms leprechaun and Larry in the same room at the same time.
Could be true.
So enjoy a couple of Guinness, Larry. Have a great time, and some Reed and everybody from AAA. And by the way, 800-354-8761. As of yesterday, they had a couple of seats left, but I wouldn't put it off. 800-354-8761. Steelers, Minnesota. That'll be September 28th. Now, back to the Pirates. Henry Davis is starting to hit. Bailey had another nice, strong performance yesterday. Had a great performance from Skeens recently. Donnie Kelly's arguing with the ushers. I mean, I love it. I love it. It's a completely different feel right now with our Pirates.
It is. And it's not like they're playing gangbusters. They're 10-11 under Donnie Kelly's reign, but it's a different feel. They're scoring runs now. They're making things happen. They're a little bit more active on the base paths. O'Neal Cruz is just flat out ignoring the third base coach and just running through stop signs and scoring runs. They are seemingly more aggressive. They're more fun to watch because you're not watching a 1-0 game every day like a soccer game. So I'm starting to feel like this is better, but it's not going to help for this season. They're just too far behind. They'll never catch up.
Listen, I've been doing shows since the mid-'80s on this program. I know the Costa family so well that if I knocked on any one of their doors today, I can have spaghetti, okay?
There you go.
But Jay Costa just sent me a text. This guy we have on that was your idea must be a pretty big mover and shaker. Jay said he deserves to get recognition. He's a great guy, so he must be that.
There you go. You talk about connections, man. It doesn't get any better than the Costa family. You get an endorsement there.
Tell you what I might do. Why don't you open up some of those lines, Alonzo, and I'll text Jay and see if he'll want to do the introduction. Because obviously for Jay to do that on a Sunday morning, this guy must be the real deal. Tell everybody who's coming up.
We've got Jim Gregg, Greenfield legend, and there are a lot of legends out of Greenfield, and Jim is one of them. He's been helping the youth, serve the youth of the Greenfield community in through athletics, but also through all of his work as a deputy warden at the county jail. It's just a guy that I think we're all going to enjoy talking with.
And by the way, a lot of folks from that place that is Greenfield, my own friend here, Michael Bartley, of course, the late, great Bob O'Connor, and Carlos McClintock, Greater Pitt Tree Service, grew up there as well, and I do want to send out my thoughts to him. His father in hospice right now, so Carlos actually spending a lot of time with his dad, and rightfully so. So we'll come back, see if I can get Jay Costa to come in here, just introduce Mr. Craig, and then we'll get rolling and tell you all about the Greenfield Baseball Association, Pittsburgh's oldest youth baseball organization. That's coming up next on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show.
Your source for the AccuWeather forecast. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
Here's a few questions for you from California Psychics. Do your workdays seem to go on forever? Is your career progression as fast as downtown traffic? Or does your boss still not know your name?
Hey, you, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay?
It's Carrie, ma'am.
Just get it done, Terry.
It's time to read the career warning signs and talk to California Psychics. We're always on hand to give you the career guidance you need. You see, we only connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So you could soon be telling your boss where to stick that report.
Where are you going, Terry? Terry!
Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
Beds are us when dreams don't get in. Beds are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 412-556-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 412-556-BATH.
Beds are us when dreams don't get in. Beds are us.
All the news you need for your day and the sports, music, and podcasts you love are all on the free Odyssey app. Download now.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Brought to you by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
Yeah, the Greenfield Baseball Association, Pittsburgh's oldest youth baseball program, coming up next weekend. I think it's their All-Star game at Hammer Field. Lots of exciting things, including June 10th. He will be honored by the Pittsburgh Pirates, 60 years doing what he does. If you will, Greg, bring this gentleman on to the program.
Well, welcome aboard, Jim Gregg. Jim, it's a pleasure to have you joining us with our listeners. Looking forward to hearing a little bit about you. Say good morning to Rob Pratt and to the city of Pittsburgh.
Hey, good morning.
So how do you feel about being honored by the Pirates, our hometown team? That's pretty special, Jimmy.
It is. Recognition is nice, but I think the real recognition should go to all the dedicated coaches, volunteers, and officers of the GBA who have been doing a great job over the years. Like we said before, they were the oldest baseball organization in the city. Next year we'll be celebrating 75 years. The league's led by, the last 2 years, by the league president, Mike Terlecki, his dedicated staff of officers. I really appreciate all they do.
So, Jim, tell us a little bit more about your roles. You started probably not much time after you participated in Little League and Pony League ball and got yourself into coaching. What led you into that direction?
Well, mainly my brother, when he first started playing, I really got involved. It was really good to be involved in the league for all these years, and it's just like a hobby. You know, I was able to do that. I got involved coaching sports in Greenfield at the age of 14. I'll be 74 now, my 60th year. Also, I coached St. Rosalia boys basketball for 47 years. Until the school closed a few years back.
Now, Jim, you coached a couple of kids, Billy O'Brien and Denny Shack, who went on to play a pretty big role in a Central Catholic basketball team that played for a state championship. Am I correct?
Yeah, correct. There actually was 5 boys from St. Rosalia that played on that team, along with Denny and Billy. There was Scott Gormley, Kerry White, and Craig White. They also played on that team. So I had 5 kids of that state championship team.
That's a real
state runner-up team.
That's a real feather in your cap. Now, you were also sharing with me that in your the other aspect of your life, you are a deputy warden. Am I correct?
Yes, I worked at the Allegheny County Jail for 32 years. 22 of them years till my retirement in 2005, I served as the chief deputy warden.
Jim, you put a smile on my face when we were talking in preparation for this. You said that, unfortunately, in your time as the warden, you ended up having another opportunity to work with some of the guys you worked with as youth baseball players.
Yes, we had some success stories, more success than non-successful stories. But we, the coaches of Greenfield baseball, we try to build character, try to set the right example for these children so they don't end up being where I used to work.
Well, let me jump in here, Jim. It's an honor to have you on the program, and thank goodness Greg straightened me out, or I'd have met you many years ago, possibly. So it's nice. It's nice that I'm here with you today. Look, one of the big arguments that I have with a lot of my baseball cronies, and we love youth baseball. I mean, Colt League, Pony League, Legion Ball, are these travel leagues and travel teams. And I'm not going to ask you to put to stomp on them, but do you think that's hurt youth baseballs? All these travel teams, these all-star teams in which people are paying to play, and when they should be playing in front of their hometown fans on a Saturday night in the middle of July, many of them are traveling the country. Your thoughts on travel youth baseball?
Well, at first I wasn't a real fan of it. It's a norm right now. Probably in our league alone, I'd say 40% of the kids play travel baseball now. So the commitment isn't there like it was years ago. But it's something we have to change at the times, I guess we have to go with.
But Jim, it's a tribute to the folks in Greenfield and the association to keep an in-house league going because that's really the nuts and bolts of what goes on. And now tell me, are you one of those guys that if you had a little league game that evening, you weren't allowed to swim, you weren't allowed to ride your bike that day, or were you a little looser on that?
No, absolutely. I'm old school. After 60 years, I'm old school. I believe in that strongly. I'll be checking McGee pool out on days of big game Tuesday.
I love it.
Oh, God bless you. Listen, let me say something else. And I know you're not looking for a pat on the back, Jimmy, but for anybody who would dedicate almost a half a century to youth basketball in the parochial schools in Pittsburgh, you must just love coaching young people.
Oh, yeah. It's really rewarding. What you see is so many success stories, and I've coached generations of families and kids. Even my own family, I played, my brother played, my nephew. Even now I have a great nephew, Wyatt, a great niece, Charlotte, that's playing the Greenfield baseball right now.
You know, nothing better, gentlemen, than when you're at one of these games and you got your scoring book and you're sipping on an ice-cold pop and eating a hot dog. You notice some kid, just how the ball sounds when it hits the barrel of the bat. Do you see some of that talent still that makes you go, there's a real chance that this person could actually make it to the show? Because I remember as a kid growing up, certain kids that I witnessed watching playing and who went through the system, like Terry Francona, who now is coaching Cincinnati, that you just knew there was something different about him. Do you still get those chills and the hairs on the back of your neck standing up every once in a while, Jimmy?
Absolutely. No question about it. How hard it is to make the major leagues, probably in our organization in the last 74 years, we had one player, Gary Green, who's now a coach with the Pirates. He's the only player that made it to the major leagues. We had some boys in the minor leagues, but he's the one only making the majors at this point in time. So that's a hard thing to do. That's a goal I think every kid might set for himself, but it just don't happen every day.
Yeah, no, Jim, but you did create the foundation for a number of guys that went on to play, to have collegiate careers, and youth baseball is one of those things. And an old boss of mine that I love dearly, he used to say he could tell when he was working with someone who either did or did not learn to throw the ball around the infield. You become a team player. You learn aspects of life when you play Little League baseball.
Absolutely. Every player isn't the best, but they're all given 100%. As a coach, you want to get everything you can out of each ball player. And as a coach, that's part of our duty to build character in these children.
And that's one of the things that from reputation, I've heard that you were one of those guys that took a lot of pride and a lot of joy when it was, a player that maybe didn't have the best talent when a season began, when that type of player was able to come in and contribute and maybe make a big play during a season, because it meant so much more to a player like that to find that, hey, maybe I have some faith in myself. I have some belief that I can actually do this.
Absolutely. It's not all about winning and losing. It's about building character. And that's what we try to do, all the coaches in the Greenfield Baseball Association.
Well, listen, Jim, I can't thank you enough for sparing a little time of a Sunday to be with us on the radio. And June 10th, big day, also the All-Star game coming up at Hammer Field. In closing, just give me a sense. I've never been to Greenfield, and if I have, I drove by it very quickly. What's that community like?
Well, we call it someplace special. And, the Greenfield baseball is a big part of that, making it special. I mean, it's a great community. I've lived there my whole life. My mother and father grew up here. My grandparents grew up here. I mean, we all live here. We call it someplace special.
Well, this is how funny things happen in those little trigger points that bring things from your subconscious. You said someplace special. If I'm not mistaken, my mentor, John Cigna, actually used to coach his kids' Little League team. Out in Shaler. And I used to think to myself, can you imagine, and Cigna was like a god back then, if you're like the opposing team and you look across to that following dugout, I mean, he was everywhere in Pittsburgh, and you realized that John Cigna from the KDKA Morning Show was the coach of your Little League team. Jimmy, great memories. Thank you so much. Enjoy the next couple of weeks, and if you ever need anything or some help to promote, please reach out, okay?
Thank you very much.
Jim, thanks for joining us, and congratulations on the honor, and enjoy your time at the Pirate game.
Thank you, Jay.
Good stuff, man. Can you imagine, though, seeing John Cigna across the way? I can only imagine that big head of his with that beautiful head of hair trying to put that ball cap on his head. I miss that guy. He was good. All right, coming up, Andy Toole of Robert Morris. We're going to talk a little NBA. The final is set. It begins on Thursday, and it will be Indiana with that T.J. McConnell kid from this part of the world, taking on a very talented team from OKC. We'll talk some basketball with Andy Toole, Robert Morris, coming up after Rob checks the news at the bottom of the hour. Coons Market, Black and Gold Sunday Show with your Pratt Pack, KDKA.
Have you been told there is nothing that can be done for your neuropathy? Tri-State Neuropathy Centers is pleased to tell you that is not true. With over 12 years of experience, Tri-State Neuropathy Centers are the experts in treating neuropathy. Their team of chiropractic physicians have successfully treated over 14,000 patients by utilizing the most powerful technology available. You're invited to a free educational peripheral neuropathy seminar hosted by Dr. Sean Ritchie of Tri-State Neuropathy Centers. Reservations are required for this Monday, June 9th seminar, taking place at 12 noon and conveniently located just off the I-79 Wexford exit. Seating is limited, so reserve your spot today. Call 724-940-9000. That's 724-940-9000 to attend this free June 9th educational peripheral neuropathy seminar. Tri-State Neuropathy Centers, the leader in treating peripheral neuropathy.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
While you sleep, there are people you've never met who are working hard to make your morning. People who get up at ungodly hours to make sure you get the information you want while you sleep. People who dedicate their lives to make yours better while you sleep. These people come together during the Big K Morning Show with Larry Richert, 5:30 to 10 in the morning, to make sure you have the best news, traffic, and weather to start your day. Wake up to your friends, weekday mornings on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 58 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 11:30. I'm Rob Taylor. 3 people had to be taken to the hospital following a 2-vehicle crash on the south side. Happened Saturday night around 8:30 in the 3200 block of East Carson Street. Pittsburgh police say an SUV and electric vehicle collided, SUV overturning and striking a light pole. 2 people were trapped inside the overturned SUV, while a third person who was inside the SUV was able to get out safely. Paramedics had to remove the roof of the SUV to get to the 2 trapped individuals. Of the 3 people taken to the hospital, 1 was transported in critical condition. Driver of the electric vehicle did not suffer any injuries. KDKA Radio News Time, 11:31. Next updates at noon. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio KDKA.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Tickets are on sale now for the upcoming season of the Pittsburgh Speaker Series presented by University of Pittsburgh and Heinz Hall with Dr. Anthony Fauci, Malcolm Gladwell, historian Doris Kearns Goodwin, former National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster, National Geographic photographer Christina Mittermeier, former Russian political prisoner Vladimir Kara-Murza, and geopolitical economist Pippa Malmgren. For information and tickets, go to pittsburghspeakers.org, sponsored by News Radio KDKA and the Spanos Group of Raymond James.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
I really need funding to expand my inventory.
Swish Funding can help you expand inventory, upgrade equipment, and boost your cash flow.
Well, okay, but I need funding fast.
Swish Funding provides funding from $25,000 to $2 million with payment terms tailored to your needs and cash in your account in less than 24 hours.
So what's the catch?
No catch. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000, you could qualify. Just go to swishfunding.com to apply. That's swishfunding.com.
Most people think child abuse is a bad parent problem.
Actually, the root causes may be different than you think.
Let us explain. Affordable housing for everyone?
That prevents child abuse. And access to health care in every community?
Prevents child abuse too. High quality, affordable child care.
Paid family leave.
School breakfast and lunch programs.
All of this prevents child abuse.
It's all about keeping families out of crisis in the first place.
At least 1 in 7 children in the United States have experienced abuse or neglect in the past year. Prevent Child Abuse America promotes policies, programs, and resources informed by science that help communities, parents, and kids thrive.
Because when we keep families out of crisis,
we prevent child abuse
from ever happening.
Go to preventchildabuse.org to learn more.
That's preventchildabuse.org.
Let's solve child abuse before it ever happens.
My dad served in Vietnam, the 82nd Airborne Division. He never talked about it, and my mom knew not to ask. So Dad buried himself in work and self-medicated, and would lose his temper sometimes. Loud noises would put him on edge. It got rough. So I finally said to him, Dad, you gotta get help.
As a family member or friend, you may be the first to notice when a veteran you love has been going through changes. Things like withdrawing, drinking more, or increased anger could be a sign of a larger health concern, but help is available.
Dad finally went to VA for one-on-one and group therapy and got some really great tools to help him manage things. And I got my dad back.
Listen to hundreds of inspiring stories at maketheconnection.net and learn how you can support the veterans in your life. Treatment works. Recovery is possible.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Not as chilly this afternoon with hazy sunshine and a breeze. We're up to 66, mostly clear tonight, low 43. Warmer tomorrow with some hazy sun, high 75. Breezy and warm Tuesday up to 84. For AccuWeather, I'm John Feerick, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
All right, I'll be back with you Monday. Is the Mon Valley on its way to being changed forever? Man, we'll find out on Monday. Big deals happening over there. Colin Dunlap, 2 to 6. Catch up with you first of the week. Right here, KDK.
Man, I got to tell you, as I look into the Metropolitan Window video screen right now, you can too. KDKRadio.com. Click on KDK Watch. One of my favorite people. Also spending his time where he feels right at home on the hardwood for this Sunday. He's none other than the head basketball coach at Robert Morris, Andy Toole. Now, the league's most valuable player, Coach SGA, added another MVP to his trophy case with the Magic Johnson Trophy for Western Conference Finals champion. MVP with 34 points and 8 assists and 7 rebounds as they sent Ant-Man and Minnesota home for the offseason. Then last night, the Indiana Pacers now are headed to the NBA Finals for the first time in 25 years after a 125-108 Game 6 victory over the Knicks. And the Pacers steadily grew their lead in the second half, and the Knicks were unable to mount one of their trademark late comebacks, sending Indiana to face top-seeded Oklahoma City, the Thunder, in the finals, which will begin on Thursday night. Tyrese Halliburton, who got the nickname overrated, forget about it. He is definitely deserving of the headlines. Shook off a rough Game 5 and once again orchestrated the Pacers with a 21-point performance with 13 assists. Here's what I want to ask you before we talk about that local product, TJ McConnell. They're saying that these two teams in the final are a blueprint as far as to be successful in the future in the NBA. Very depth-oriented as far as your bench, very athletic. And both of these teams are great defensively. So are what we're going to witness in the finals, is it safe to say this could be the future blueprint for success in the National Basketball Association? Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. I think that there is certainly the idea that having the versatility that both these teams have is a must as you move forward in the NBA with the shooting, the spacing, the ability that you need to defensively to be able to switch ball screens, right? The ability to pressure and play multiple bodies. You saw the Pacers and the Thunder both getting aggressively, picking up the ball, making offenses start, beyond half court in a lot of cases. And I have to be honest, a little heartbroken this morning. I'm a huge Knicks fan, and so what the Pacers did to the Knicks, especially last night was. It's fun to watch from a basketball coach perspective. It's hard to watch from a fan perspective.
Coach, good morning. This is Greg. Yeah, interestingly, in this set of playoffs, there have been a lot of comebacks that kind of historic comebacks, and it's been kind of crazy to feel like maybe you can't turn these games off when one of the teams gets a crazy lead.
Yeah, no lead is safe. We saw that, series after series in the playoffs. The thing that is amazing to me is even at the end of games, the last 4 minutes of an NBA game, the number of possessions that you get and the way that you can come back in those situations, as well as the way that NBA teams struggle against full court pressure. They don't see it all year long over the 82 games for the most part. And all of a sudden you get into the postseason and you see teams, these are obviously the best at what they do, struggle to get the ball in bounds, turn the ball over on baseline out of bounds, sideline out of bounds situations. And that to me is something that is so, odd to watch, because these guys are the best at what they do. And even though they're being guarded by, equally talented players, it's just amazing to me sometimes the struggles that occur in some of these late game situations that I think result in these comebacks.
Jalen Brunson, just if we can for a moment, what this young man has done out of Villanova is amazing. He's not that big as far as his physical stature. He kind of is falling away from the bucket whenever he lets a three-pointer fly, or even when he's in the paint. What is it about this guy that has made him such a clutch player, Coach, even though they came up short? Go ahead.
It's obviously mindset. The work that he puts in, the mindset he has. Rarely, if ever, do you see him rattled. As you watch games, the amount of times the announcers talk about his footwork and his ability to create space. And you talked about that little fade that he has that creates just that little bit of space, makes it difficult for the bigger, taller defenders that are often on him to affect his shot. And you can just tell that those shots have been repped, that footwork has been repped, those moves have been repped, thousands and thousands of times, where they look effortless on the court against, some of the biggest, best athletes in the world.
One of the problems with the Knicks and Coach Thibodeau, who I'm a big fan of, they just didn't have enough depth. You got to have at least 7 or 8 to work in and out, because this is a game that's nonstop. It's fast and furious. And as I mentioned, it's all about going full court from the opening tip to the final buzzer. They're talking about the Knicks and their future and how the East is going to be a little bit weak right now because of some salary issues in the league. Boston could be breaking up their talent, as could Cleveland. And, you really wonder what's going to happen with Philadelphia. They've had a lot of injury issues there as well. So the Knicks need to do something drastic, and there's the possibility that Giannis may be wanting out of Milwaukee. What do you think about seeing someone like him playing in the East for the New York Knicks? That would be the icing on the cake, would it not?
I'm not sure any fan of any franchise would be upset if Giannis joined the franchise, right? Just the way that he is able to affect the game, his rebounding, his aggressiveness, his ability to get downhill, with some of the other pieces that the Knicks would potentially have around him. I don't know what you'd have to give up in order to make that happen. But I think it's something, if it's an opportunity for you, you need to investigate it thoroughly. You need to make sure that you are as ready and prepared to have those conversations as we get into free agency in July, because the Knicks they need a boost. They need somebody else that can, come in and, either be scoring punch off the bench, be a threat at the rim. I just think there was times this year that they relied, their possessions were much, beleaguered with, a lot of dribbling, not a lot of passing, and I think that those are some of the things you see the Pacers, you see the Thunder, you see Boston even doing on a regular basis, where that ball movement almost mirroring a little bit of what the Warriors were able to do during their championship runs, where that ball movement, that body movement was nonstop, and it really made it difficult on defenses to slow Curry and others.
All right, listen, there was talk about maybe even swapping him to Dallas for Cooper Flagg. Nico Harris said, look, we got rid of Luka. We're not letting this guy go. What intangibles does this young man? I cannot wait to see him play in the NBA, Cooper Flagg, and then we'll talk about TJ. Go ahead.
He does everything well. Whatever the game needs, he's going to do. He rebounds, he passes, he scores it. He's not a guy that is a heavy volume shooter. He can score within the flow. He can play with other good players. He does everything, and he does it all extremely well. And all of the, inside sources that I've talked to, and not that I have very many inside sources, but everyone talks about how competitive he is and how hard he plays. And I just think that is, a key characteristic in taking that talent and maximizing it. And so now when he gets on that NBA stage where he has more space, more opportunity, playing around really good players, I think he's just going to elevate everyone's game around him, and his game will shine because of it.
All right, let's take care of the local kid. Go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, I got to tell you, I'm more of a college guy than an NBA guy, so I was kind of a fish out of the water until we start talking about the Pacers and TJ McConnell, because quite honestly, and I don't think I'm alone in the Pittsburgh area, if he's not playing for the Pacers, I'm not watching what's going on in this series. But having gotten attracted to it and now watching him, is he a special player?
Oh, of course he is. Yeah. He's in a decade in the NBA. That doesn't happen by accident. and his ability to impact winning, his ability to energize his teammates, his ability to be a pest to his opponent. Those are the reasons that he's been able to stay and have such success in the NBA. And it's so fun to watch him play, the way he attacks on both ends of the floor. You never don't know he's in the game. He's always impacting the game. He's always around the ball. And he did that in high school. He did that in college, and he's continuing to do it in the NBA. And, that is what he does, and he does it incredibly well. And I think if you talk to, whether it was the Sixers when he broke in with the Sixers or, when he obviously has been with the Pacers now for a stretch, the value that he brings to that locker room, the value that he brings to that team and that organization is immense. And that's why he's going to continue to be a wanted player in the NBA after already have played 10 years, which is incredible.
It seems to me, if I could, he has such basketball instinct, and I don't think it's teachable. Like, if you watch him on the defensive floor, you can almost see him coming. If you just watch him away from the ball, it's like, okay, I can see that he's playing chess. It's, 2 moves ahead, and he starts to fade off of his man to anticipate picking off a pass. Or he had 3 or 4 rebounds last night. He's 6'0" and playing in the land of the Giants. But he's always in the right place.
It's 2 words, TJ and Susie. Bottom line, it's in the blood. Before I let you go, Coach, and we're up against it here. I know you got a busy day ahead of you because you're always working hard to make it better. I love the fact that these NBA rosters are going to get deeper because I'm always about promoting, and it gives a young man a chance at Robert Morris, a Duquesne, a Pitt to make a roster and play in the NBA. So when they expand rosters and more people are needed to basically fill out that roster and be utilized during a game, that gives some of these young men at schools like Robert Morris the ability to dare to dream. Fair statement?
If you're good enough, they'll find you. I mean, they have numerous guys that are, combing not only the U.S. but the world to find people that can help their organization. So if you're good enough and you've put in the work and you can help that organization be successful, you will get an opportunity, and that's an awesome thing.
All right, who do you like in the final?
I think the Pacers are going to win it.
Really? What about Coach?
Yep.
What about Coach Carlisle? What do you like about him?
Well, he's got the experience. They won when Dallas. He was the head coach of Dallas, and I know they're big underdogs here in this final. But I just think they have an edge, and I think they have a relentlessness to them that each and every series so far they've just slowly worn down their opponent. And I think the same thing will happen again as long as they remain healthy. I think the same thing will happen again here in the finals.
Coach Andy Toole, Robert Morris, thank you for your time. Have a great summer. Okay.
Thanks, Rob. You too.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. Lots more to get to. Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show, KDKA.
The KDKA Mobile News Fleet is driven by Jim Shorkey Kia, North Huntington and Wexford. JimShorkeyKia.com.
I'm with Rocco Florio of AirPro Heating and Cooling, a trusted HVAC company that carries quality Bryant products and serves the entire Pittsburgh area. Rocco, what's up on prices for furnaces and air conditioning equipment?
Larry, it's best for people to purchase now, as equipment prices are going up in the coming months. AirPro takes pride in our prices. We are lower than the competition and provide financing options and long warranties.
Call AirPro Heating and Cooling today at 800-749-0642. Bryant, whatever it takes.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CARGO25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CARGO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CARGO25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts. Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Brought to you by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, it's the Golden Bears tournament wrapping up in Muirfield Village, Dublin, Ohio. And right now, Scotty Scheffler, 8 under, has got a one-shot lead. The world's number one. Everybody right now, it will begin June 9th through the 15th. Oakmont, U.S. Open, Devin Gee here last week. They are saying he is the odds-on favorite to win the 2025 Open. I guess that makes all the sense in the world, does it not, Greg?
It surely does. But you can be odds-on favorites, but you got, 120 golfers that qualify for the U.S. Open, and anybody can get hot, and you can have one hole at the U.S. Open that can blow you out of the water, particularly with the rough that's been getting fed by all of these rain showers. It's going to start out at 5 inches. They're going to cut it the last time on Wednesday evening before the Open starts, and then it won't get cut until after the Open is finalized. So it'll be at 5 inches on Thursday morning when the Open begins, and probably be at 7 or 8 or 9 on Sunday for the final round.
You know, one of the things that I've always been jealous of, because I don't really have any kind of enormous athletic ability. I was a pretty good sandlot and everything, but these athletes like TJ McConnell and Terry Francona and Mario Lemieux, I've been to different events where they're like at a golf outing or something. It's just not fair. I mean, have you ever seen Mario hit a golf ball?
I have had the pleasure of seeing that, and
it's just not right.
It's amazing.
It is. And they go, well, it's hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, I've heard that statement, yeah.
But I really believe a lot of this stuff, you're just born. Like me, if you would have sat near me in any class, you would have probably thought, how is this guy ever getting through school? But I had the ability to talk about a little bit about everything. Grammar wasn't always right, this, that, but I just kept pushing, reading, learning. I guess certain things are just destiny. You being a trial lawyer, I mean, you probably never thought you'd be doing something like that as a kid growing up.
That's not true. I thought I'd be doing this from when I was just a little puppy.
What made you want to be a lawyer?
My dad told me that's what I was going to be, and that's what I thought I was going to be from like when I was 4.
No kidding.
Dead serious.
You're too young to be watching reruns of the original Perry Mason. But
no, I'm not. I watch them all the time on Me TV.
Listen, Raymond Burr. Aviva Radbourne, who is an exceptional news producer at KDKA, her and I, we had this love affair with Raymond Burr and Perry Mason. You know, he did lose one case, but I love that show.
Yeah.
Really good.
Well, that's the thing. You always talk about, as a trial lawyer, you're always hoping you get that Perry Mason moment. Well, very rarely does that happen. But
Phil DeLucente, I have Joe Mystic, the governor from time to time, Duquesne Law School. I just, Thomas Klein School of Law, and I don't know anything about law. The only bar I know is a bump and a beer, okay?
Yeah, there you go.
But I love talking about the law. It's fascinating. All right. Oakmont to Devin Gee, and I know Mr. Ford's been helping out, and to everyone there. Can you imagine the monumental work that is going on right now as we speak?
I would think that they've got those big construction lights, and they're working well into the nights on every night, making sure that everything is premier, picture perfect. Although there's probably people playing today, membership playing today. It's a beautiful day to play golf. I don't know how much you would want to go out and subject yourself to the conditions that they make them at such a premium and so difficult to play when the U.S. Open is there. But it would probably be really nice to play a few weeks after the Open's done and they mow that grass down.
Well, I just know it's an exciting thing to do. And once again, I want you to go to the pro shop. I want you to get all the good food and enjoy yourself. But go down there to Oakmont Bakery. Go down there into Oakmont. Spend a little bit of money in that community. When you come across the Halton Bridge, you may want to go a week early just to scout the place out. It is really, you know what it reminds me of? Remember when you were a kid growing up, you had the little village underneath the Christmas tree?
Yes.
That's what Oakmont reminds me of.
You're right. Right.
I love it.
And I forgot, I was talking about Hofstadt's the last time we talked about it. There's a couple other great places out there. Michael A's, a really good restaurant, as well as The Lot. So some really good spots out there in Oakmont.
All right. What else? We're going to talk a little bit more baseball before we get to the top of it. We've got a lot of NFL to get to. Haley Seinfeld, or is it Steinfeld? One or the other. She recently married Josh Allen. So Josh Allen is no longer a single man. So he is now in the midst of celebrating his honeymoon. So happy news for Josh and Haley, and we wish him nothing but the best.
Anybody who thought that any Buffalo Bills fan, just give it up, because there's no more dedication to the game.
But do you think...
Honey, you have to go pick up a cantaloupe for me. Well, wait, I'm trying to look at this last game film.
But your client, he doesn't have any... They may move in, but they're not getting married from what I hear.
I got no comment on that.
How about this? How about this? Travis Kelce, I love him and his brother. You know what went viral this past week? The poor guy. He had his shirt off. You know what I'm talking about?
It's a bad picture, folks. I'm telling you, the guy's in great shape.
I know that. Come on. And showing his hairy back. We all had an uncle or two that had a hairy back.
You see, people thought I was a gorilla in at Shenley Oval.
Did you really have one of them backs?
Still do.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I don't have any of that hair, front or back. Tyler, a little bit, my oldest, but Robbie got a little bit of, because his grandfather was the Italian stallion, so he's got a little bit back there. So have you ever decided not shave it, but maybe use some of that old product known as Nair, maybe to remove it a little bit?
No.
Hey, but man, remember George the Animal Steel?
That's what I look like.
Unbelievable. All right, we're going to take a break. And I love Travis, but I was kind of saying, Travis, man, you got all that money in the world, man. Just electrolyze.
No way. That's testosterone driven. He's all man.
Hey, listen, that's what. And I guess according to Pat Mahomes, he may play a couple more years. He said he looks great.
Yeah, buddy.
Keep those cards and
keep going, Trav.
And those checks coming in. Pirates, real quick, less than a minute. Do you think that there could be some hope that they become competitive here?
Not this season. I mean, they'll play competitive baseball. They're not going to compete for the playoffs. They're just too far out. But we're learning some more about them, and there are some things here that are, possibilities. They're giving us some hope.
Where's Bubba Chandler? When's he coming up?
They think that this next homestand.
I was watching my man Nick York down there at the AAA farm team. I hope he kind of gets it going. Sawinski's been off the charts.
He's great at AAA.
And the other thing we got to mention, Henry Davis has been hitting the baseball.
Thank goodness.
I know. And
he's playing well defensively.
Yes. And maybe it just might work out in the end. So we'll see. All right. We're going to get to the NFL. We got some other stuff on the other side, a little NHL as well, too. This is the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. Your Pratt Pack and Greg Dulles. If you want to call in and get on the conversation of anything in the world of sports, you know what to do. 866-391-1020. New news. Rob Taylor next.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
This could be one of the biggest economic in the history of the region. Mayor of West Mifflin, Chris Kelly.
Well, as our dear friend used to say, it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. I actually shed a few tears. I felt such relief for the family. And I thank you for your continued support on this. As the people learned more about it, they got on. And that's thanks to people like you and your station.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas, the perfect place for mom.
Not available in all states. Rates vary. Building a financial safety net for your family can be tough. But with term life insurance through Ethos, you can have peace of mind that they can pay the mortgage and other bills if something happens to you. With coverage in as little as 10 minutes, all online, Ethos finds your best rate across their multiple trusted carriers. Some policies as low as $1 a day billed monthly. And even in uncertain times, your term life insurance rates and payout don't change. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hey folks, it's Marty. Nasco Roofing, the region's roofing leader. Wow, they're good. They continue to exceed customer expectation. For instance, Charles from Bethel Park highly recommends NASCO. Charles was pleased with NASCO's exemplary customer service and the quality of their work. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Charles. Now's the time to get NASCO on your roof. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO, NASCO.
How would you like to go to the beach or pool feeling comfortable without wearing a cover-up this summer? How would you like to be in front of pictures instead of hiding behind people in the back where only your head pops up? How would you like your doctors to tell you how proud they are of your weight loss? How would you like to fit into clothes that haven't fit in years? How would you like to have such self-esteem and self-confidence that you are beyond happy? Yes, yes, and yes. Let's make all these things happen. Call me, Dr. Shufo, at 1-800-900-THIN.
Did you know that now you can listen to all your favorite stations, including this one, shows, and even podcasts, all on the Odyssey app? Download it now.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 58 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 12 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. The person who died after being struck by a pickup truck early Saturday morning in Washington, PA, has been identified as 51-year-old Stephen Elliott of Washington. The Washington County coroner has now ruled out that Elliott may have suffered a medical event prior to being struck by the truck. Driver of the pickup truck got out of the vehicle in the 800 block of Jefferson Avenue thinking he had struck an animal, only to learn it was a human. It was Elliott. Washington Police Department is investigating the incident. 3 people were arrested after an incident in Glassport Saturday afternoon that resulted in an officer being bitten by a dog. Glassport police say they responded to the 600 block of Cherry Way around 3:45 p.m. for a disturbance when a dog bit the officer in the leg. An officer fired one shot at the dog, striking the dog. The dog was transported to a veterinarian in Monroeville, while the officer was taken to a local hospital. Dog's 2 owners and another person were arrested after allegedly becoming irate at the scene. Well, several people are facing charges after a 17-year-old girl who was reported missing out of Beaver County was found safe Saturday in Ohio. New Sewickley Township police say Isabella Phillips was reported missing on Friday after she was last seen walking in the area of Glen Eden Road and Ziegler Road. Saturday, though, she was found safe in the central Ohio area. New Sewickley police say, quote, several people are facing criminal charges in connection with the incident. No further details were given. KDK Radio News Time, 12:02. The AccuWeather forecast next.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensate for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
Progressive knows you've got enough to worry about in life.
Hi, it's your life again. Feel like another year is just slipping away? Yeah, remember all those New Year's resolutions you made? You still haven't finished the first book. Just 19 more to go. I mean, if we're being honest, it wasn't a very realistic goal. Have you ever considered that you intentionally self-sabotage? So what's that about?
So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Some hazy sun this afternoon, breezy high 66. Chilly tonight, mostly clear low 43. Hazy sunshine, warmer tomorrow. high 75. Very warm Tuesday, high 84. For AccuWeather, I'm John Feerick, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
It's sports down and dirty, Pittsburgh style. It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Brought to you by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
I may need some tickets for Buffalo sometime. And it is Haley Steinfeld, so I was right. The lovely young lady, Josh Allen, got married over the weekend, so we wish them a whole lot of success. So I got to ask you, what do you make of Terry? So I said it's just showbiz. You know, he said Aaron Rodgers needs to be chewing on some bark, and you don't want him. That's what Bradshaw does, man. But I just think people need to realize it's all about shock value. What do you think about that?
I agree. Yeah, and Terry's been that kind of guy for his entire life, and I think he's one of the great entertainers. And
I love him.
People in Pittsburgh get mad at him for having the spat for those few years. He wouldn't come back, and he missed the Chiefs' funeral and all that stuff. Who cares?
Listen, somebody told me it used to be a stylist, because they used to be stylists back in the 70s and 80s, barbers, right? Mm-hmm. That's when people were in long hair. Tony Rich was a toupee company. Okay. And Terry, would every once in a while don a toupee, and they hired him as a spokesperson. And they said they met this guy at one of these promotional things. They said he was so funny. People were literally hysterical from just listening. And here's the other thing about Terry Bradshaw. Let me give him a little bit of credit. So George Strait was in town, and Jelly Roll and Post Malone. So a lot of country music, okay? And I love country music. Y108 down the hall does such a great job. Terry, actually, at one time, was a little bit of a country music singer. And he did a version of Your Cheating Heart with Hank Williams, made famous. Not junior, but senior. Terry Bradshaw could actually really sing. And he could yodel. I mean, this guy really is very talented. So Failure to Launch, in which he starred with Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew McConaughey, was flat out funny. Kathy Bates, who stars in the new version of Matlock. I'm telling you, Terry Bradshaw has got an incredible skill set, and he's had a great career as a businessman, too.
Yeah, Failure to Launch was really good. I mean, when he came up with that term, the naked room, I almost lost my eyeballs crying.
Listen, I love Terry Bradshaw. But we're not going to talk about Aaron Rodgers today. I want to talk about Roman Wilson, this kid out of Michigan who's healthy.
Okay.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, they must think, because they were willing to do what they did with Pickens. And if they didn't think that they had enough support for DK Metcalf, they would have already gone out and gotten somebody, because whatever's on the market now, there isn't much. So the only thing you can do is make trades, and they've clustered a whole bunch of draft picks. But I think that they feel comfortable with what's in that wide receiver room, and Wilson is probably a big piece of that.
Let me bounce back to another sport before we get all in on football. You got Edmonton, which is a team from Canada, going to be taking on Florida, the defending champion Panthers, who just annihilated Carolina. The NHL final begins on Wednesday. What's the NHL going to have to do to start grabbing bigger headlines? And I mean, they got the NHL Network, which I try to a little bit every day. They've had the contract with ESPN, which is pretty big, to say the least. But it just doesn't kick the tires, and you don't want to take it for a test drive. It just doesn't, you don't stop. I may because of this job, but most people don't stop to watch a story that's rolling on the nightly news, or even for that matter, on one of the major sports outlets. Is it not enough star power? What is it?
It's sort of like the fourth dog in a 3-dog race. Because it's not a major enough sport, and it's going to get passed up by soccer pretty quickly. It's not one of those sports that catches the general attention of the American public. And even worse news for the NHL is you got Edmonton, who's nobody in the world other than people that live in Edmonton have been to, and Florida in your finals, just like you got Oklahoma City and Indianapolis in the NBA finals. 4 cities that really don't get eyeballs. They don't get people to want to watch them. You need New York, you need LA, you need Chicago in those championships to get enough eyeballs on it. So there's just not enough people that are going to watch either of these sports in their championships.
All right. Speaking of soccer, Paris Saint-Germain has finally done it. For the first time in history, PSG lifted the Champions League trophy following a 5-0 victory over Inter in Munich. It happened yesterday, marking the most lopsided score in UCL final history.
Now back to sports.
No, but they had David Beckham. Now listen, Paramount Plus did a really cool thing. You know how the Mannings do their little thing on Monday night?
Yes.
He did that with some of his soccer friends. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. French Open, you got this Ben Shelton kid out of the United States. I have some belief in this young man to where we may actually get somebody who is relevant in the sport of tennis. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, get him to the Champions Court at Roland Garros.
Listen, I don't know about you, but how cool would it be if you could at least be on center court one time? Wimbledon's great, but wouldn't it be fantastic to actually be at center court on the red clay of Roland Garros?
Yeah, it'd be fun. I mean, it wouldn't be on my bucket list of all-time great things to do.
Well, I don't know, man. Wimbledon.
I didn't mean to pop your balloon there, Rob.
But how about Rafael Nadal?
He's good.
They honored him, and he's basically done. Okay. He won that thing like 11 times.
Yeah, didn't he go for a long time without even losing a set? Like I think he went 7 or 8 years and never lost a set, which is really impressive.
Now, have you ever played tennis?
Yes.
On a clay court?
No.
Why is it so difficult?
Because there aren't too many clay courts around, so you can't get to it. It's slippery. I mean, you watch guys when they get to a shot, they kind of like slide into it. It's almost like playing on a waxed bowling alley. It's an entirely different feel. So you're going to get different results, and there are going to be some players who are better on that surface than are on other surfaces.
Well, Mr. Shelton, the young man from the U.S. of A., almost defeated the world's number 2 player, Carlos Alcaraz, in the first set. He lost those 7-6, and they're at love, as they say. Neither has won a game in the second set. So be nice to see an American actually move on in the French Open.
So, Rob, did you say he escaped from Alcaraz?
You know whose birthday it was yesterday. You guys are killing me, man. Who's ever writing this script, no matter what I do, it's like somebody's watching me. They just know my moves. Like they know my cards before I basically put them on the table. But Clint Eastwood, 95 years old yesterday.
He doesn't look a day over 94 either.
You know he owns Pebble Beach. Do you know that?
I knew he did it once. I thought he was the mayor of
Carmel.
Carmel, yeah.
Have you ever been to Carmel?
No.
They say it is breathtaking, beautiful. That coastline, they say, is just absolutely amazing.
I've never been to Carmel, but I've been to Arizona.
Listen, so I'm up today on the treadmill, walking, not running, about 2 o'clock, and I'm flipping a little in between, because these breaks in some of these sports channels are like 10 minutes long.
That's when you watch Perry Mason, isn't it? That's when you do it.
So I flipped over, and Magnum Force was on. That was the
the one of the Dirty Harry ones,
the sequel,
okay,
in which there was David Soul in them, Starsky and Hutch. They were the bad motorcycle cops.
Okay.
They were killing bad guys, and Hal Holbrook, the legendary stage actor, was the dirty police officer that was like the head of the San Francisco Police Department. I don't care what anyone says. There'll never be a better guy as far as action or looks and just meant to be on the big screen than Clint Eastwood back in his heyday, man.
I was watching Kelly's Heroes the other day. He had such a diverse ability to play movie characters, and then he did the Any Which Way But Loose with the when he had the orangutan in the car with him. Right Turn, Clyde.
But have you ever seen Bridges of Madison County?
No.
Listen, on a date night, instead of going out, you and your lovely bride, rent that movie. 1995, him and Meryl Streep.
I can't stand her.
What are you like? You're on drugs, aren't
she's
you?
Horrible.
How can horrible?
I can't stand her movies.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. I would probably leave you and this radio station if she was in the parking lot just beeping the horn.
Really?
Oh my God! Listen, Greg. I saw that movie when I was single, which has been on more than one occasion in my life. I was hyperventilating. I actually thought she was one of the most incredible performances, and I couldn't believe that my man Clint. Every man must know his limitations. Go ahead and make my day. I can't believe what a great dramatic actor he was in that movie. I mean, it was just unforgettable. But the best is an unforgiven. when he's coming back and it's storming and his buddy Ned Morgan Freeman, they killed him and he got him upright in an open coffin. He's like, you better bury Ned properly or I'm going to come back here and I'm going to kill everybody. Oh, I love Clint Eastwood. And I got to tell you, never going to meet him. No relation, obviously, no connection to anything. But when that guy goes, it's going to really be tough, man, because he's been such a part of my life, man, forever. I mean, think about this guy.
He was good.
He is really good.
I do have to walk back to one part about Meryl Streep. I did love the movie Mamma Mia.
I never saw that movie.
Oh, man. Now you got to like ABBA. If you like ABBA,
yeah, that was. They were pretty big when I was kind of growing up. Man, they sold a lot of records. Man.
Yeah,
a lot of records.
Sure
They're making some cash.
Great workout songs. You can work out to their stuff all the time.
All right. I can only envision Greg Diolis working out in his athletic gear to ABBA. Mamma Mia. That's okay. Dancing. What was dancing? What was the other
Dancing Queen.
Yeah. All right. Listen, we'll come back. We're going to get to some...
I Need a Man After Midnight.
Watch Bridges of Madison County. I'm telling you right now.
I'm not going to work out to that movie.
No. Literally... I was like embarrassed. I was like a school kid getting ready to ask somebody to dance for the first time at like the canteen. I couldn't even make eye contact with her on screen. She was just that good. You know what else she was in? Her first big role. Deer Hunter.
I did not know that.
Yeah. They filmed it nearby Mingo Junction. Robert De Niro and a whole lot of other fine folks. Christopher Walken. All right, we'll come back. We're going to get to the NFL. Lots of stuff to get to in the NFL. That's moments away on KDKA.
News, weather, traffic, and business every day. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
Here's the latest from the KDKA Community Message Board.
Window Nation's semi-annual sale. Mention you heard it on KDKA to get 4 free windows with the purchase of 4 windows, a free entry door, and no money down, interest, or payments until 2027. Hurry, the sale ends soon. Call 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com today. If you're over 60 and looking for a weight loss program built specifically for you, Awaken 180 is your solution with Awaken 180 Golden, a new 1 to 3 month program for fast weight loss tailored to those over 60. Online at awaken180weightloss.com. Be a part of something new, exciting, and totally Pittsburgh. It's the inaugural Rockin' Regatta at Pittsburgh Brewing Company, June 7th and 8th. A brand new summer celebration packed with music, river racing, food, family fun, and more.
Details at KDKARadio.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Not available in all states. Rates vary. Building a financial safety net for your family can be tough. But with term life insurance through Ethos, you can have peace of mind that they can pay the mortgage and other bills if something happens to you. With coverage in as little as 10 minutes, all online, Ethos finds your best rate across their multiple trusted carriers. Some policies as low as $1 a day billed monthly. And even in uncertain times, your term life insurance rates and payout don't change. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
All the news you need for your day and the sports, music, and podcasts you love are all on the free Odyssey app. Download now.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Brought to you by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, Greg Diolis is here, and of course, Ted Arnaud within 10 minutes. This is when we kind of swing into the National Football League. So, is there any chance that if they don't end up making a move for Aaron Rodgers, that they could go after a Will Levis, or maybe if Will Howard or somebody steps up, and obviously the choice would be Mason Rudolph, who's really been handling this whole situation rather well, was at the Trump rally the other night and speaking very, positive about the city of Pittsburgh. And it seems like this time around, the diehard Steeler fan is actually embracing Mason Rudolph.
We are talking about the freshly mustachioed Mason Rudolph, right? He's going down Paul Skeen's route.
Listen, let me tell you something. He may not be a franchise quarterback, but that man, he could be a model or a movie star. He's a handsome young man for sure.
You know what Skeens' problem is? He's wearing that goofy beard. He needs to go back with just the mustache, and then he'd be more
Olivia
effective.
Dunn's letting him do that. I mean, do a Gillette commercial or something. Get rid of that Abraham Lincoln-looking beard that he's wearing.
If you have Paul Skeens' talent, your girlfriend has to let you do whatever you want to do.
I know. She's pretty talented too, though, man. But what do you make of maybe just run the table with Mason Rudolph?
I think that's where we are, but I don't have a whole lot of confidence that that's going to be a very good outcome.
So the average Steeler fan is also pouncing no matter where I go, barbershop, convenience store, grocery store. First thing, you got to hey, Tomlin's got to go. He's done. Forget it. He can't get him to the next level. Here's what they're rebuilding. They just need to admit it. They're not reloading. But you know what? I give Art Rooney II and Omar Khan credit and Coach Tomlin. They don't want to rebuild. They want to be able to reload and be competitive again. Because if you do that, it becomes like a 3, 4, 5-year process. And now I'm hearing that Arch Manning may not even come out till 2027. So the chances of getting your next great quarterback are slim to none. But even though he's not lighting it up at OTAs and he's had some, he's on that learning curve, Will Howard just may be the diamond in the rough. I think I would be willing to go with Mason and at least see if he can simmer and actually do something for you.
I don't argue with you there, but I don't think Will Howard is going to be your answer to bring you to the promised land.
Well, listen, between me and you, I don't know if the Steelers will get back to the promised land anytime soon.
In the NFL, there's always a chance.
Are you one player away?
You're one great quarterback away.
Yeah, but man, do you find them in the first round, or are they Mr. Irrelevant?
Not always. I mean, it's just one of those guys that for whatever reason it blooms later on in life, and maybe Rudolph can be that guy. Maybe he finds what was wrong. Maybe he finds or rekindles what he had going on at Oklahoma State when the Steelers and others, well, probably not others because he lasted to the third round, but had a first-round grade on him coming out of college. So there obviously was something there, a nugget that hasn't yet been able to be cracked open.
All right, so I got some notes in here for the show, and I want to kind of get to them about the NFL. A lot of moving parts on today's show, so let's get to the Steelers. Let's talk about Broderick Jones and Fatanu. Can they take a giant leap, and would you be more concerned about Jones and Fatanu? And obviously, Jones being moved to left tackle, guarding the blinds out of whoever the quarterback is, would be the obvious choice, I believe. But also, I'm looking for Adam Frazier to take a big step as far as anchoring that center position. So I think this offensive line could be a whole lot better. Khalif Johnson maybe gets a chance to run the football. You got Javon Warren, very steady. I think could actually go very good or go very bad.
Well, talk about the offensive line, and it's Zach Frazier. Adam Frazier plays second base for the Pirates.
That's right. Zach Frazier, you're right.
I like doing that.
That's okay. That's okay. You're absolutely right.
You always let me go, and you never point out my mistakes, and instead I make you look bad. I apologize.
Why
but
would
you
I call
because
him Adam Frazier?
I don't know, but we did it last week because one of my friends called me and said, "Tell Rob it's not Adam Frazier."
Listen, it's Zach Frazier out of West Virginia. I apologize, Adam.
From the great city of Fairmont, West Virginia.
Yes.
Yeah, so the offensive line, I think the Steelers are trying to follow that model that is the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Build the trenches up. They went offensive line 2 years in a row with first-round picks. Now they go defensive line with a first-round pick this year. They're trying to build up through if you win the game in the trenches, then you need a guy to make a big play here and there, and you win games. So they're following the Eagles model.
But why would you even be considering the possibility of bringing a tight end in from Miami?
Because you're not getting any productivity from Freiermuth. He's a Penn State guy. You can't lean on them. You can't rely on them.
Is that Smith wanting to do that more than Tom? I mean, that's something I don't even see the need. I mean, you got Washington. What are you going to do with him?
Rob, it's actually some sports writer who has nothing better to do but to throw out something and hope he gets clicks on the internet. There is no meat to that story.
No. There can't be. And then you keep hearing about the wide receiver from New Orleans. I mean, I I think you let Roman Wilson see what the kid can do. You got DK, who you're going to be getting the ball to most times. And if Aaron Rodgers ends up here, I keep hearing, well, he's never really worked with DK Metcalf. I mean, they were doing some drills out of UCLA. I mean, it's the National Football League. They've both been at the game a long time. And then they're saying, why would you sign him to a $150 million deal if you're rebuilding as opposed to reloading? Because by the time you get to the rebuild, he'll be kind of long in the tooth and, pretty much done as far as the prime years in the National Football League.
It's wide receiver. That deal's going to be pretty good for a long while. That's not a bad move.
All right, Mike Tomlin, his strategy moving forward. If you're Mike Tomlin right now, looking at just weeks away from heading to camp, and it'll be here before you know it, and these OTAs and all the other stuff that's swirling through your mind right now, is it still focusing on the quarterback? And if it is, have the Steelers drop the ball with this whole thing?
No, they haven't dropped the ball. They've done everything that they can do in their plan B, which doesn't feel like a real comfortable plan B, that being going with Mason Rudolph, might not be all that bad because of the offensive style that they want to play. They want to be that 70% run-heavy type of team that possesses the football, shortens the game down, gets you into a rock fight every week and try to win. But you got to then make sure that you win all those one-score games, and that's the scary part of it is you're going to get yourself into, you're going to probably stay in games that maybe you wouldn't be able to if you had a shootout, but you're going to allow lesser talented teams to compete with you. You're opening the door to giving them that chance of a drop ball, a fumble that bounces the wrong way of beating you. So that's why you get to that 500 level, is because you make everything down to a one-score game, and then you get a good bounce or a bad bounce.
If it isn't Aaron Rodgers, could this be 3 yards in a cloud of dust we could be looking at all year?
I think we're going to be looking at that either way. That's Artie Smith's style.
I know, but why would Aaron Rodgers want to be a part of that?
Because he's safe. He only jeopardizes himself.
So he wants to go out a winner as opposed to statistically lighting it up even more. He's already solidified himself statistically.
Well, no, if he wanted to go out a winner, he would be with whatever team it was and be working on becoming a champion. He doesn't care about that. He cares about being famous, getting eyeballs on him. His ego needs to get massaged, and then he'll make a little bit of money.
He's using the Steelers to stay in the headlines.
Yeah. He's using the National Football League to stay in the headlines, and the only team left is the Steelers.
He hosted Jeopardy. He's done all these other things. I mean, he could be. He's done national shows. He could do anything. Why is it football? Is that
he can't do anything if he doesn't have football? If he doesn't have football, nobody cares about him.
I'll tell you, Danica Patrick didn't have some nice things to say about him.
No, emotionally abusive.
I mean, that was kind of sad because I like Danica Patrick a lot, man.
Yeah. Wow.
But I mean, who knows? We weren't in the room. You don't know what's going on. But that's sad, man. That's really sad if that's a fact. But when you see him, best case scenario, dive to the right, dive to the left, every once in a while, a little, dink and dunk pass. I mean, and if you're lucky, you go deep.
Well,
I mean,
and then
you play it that safe,
right? And if you have his arm, so you get in that rock fight we're talking about, and then you need him to make a play, and there's not a better arm around than that can make a play.
Still has that.
Right. He's not as mobile as he once was, certainly with the age and with the Achilles injury, but he still probably has that ability to make a big throw for you when necessary.
Could you see him, Cam Hayward, platooning this year on the defensive line?
I don't know if platooning is the right word, but there will probably be plays when he is not in and on the football field, probably the same time when TJ takes himself out of the game.
And Adam Frazier will not be in the lineup, and Zach Frazier will not be playing second or third base for the Pirates.
That would be interesting to see Zach Frazier playing second base.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
How about Adam Frazier? He hit one with all of his might last night and got it to the warning track. I said, geez, this guy got no juice.
We'll take a break. Bobby Witt Jr. is the guy I'd like to have.
He's very good.
Oh, he's good. Plays for Kansas City.
No, but that Jackson Merrill, that center fielder for the Padres, I would trade him.
How about Detroit?
I would trade him for Skeens.
How about you would?
Jackson Merrill for Skeens straight up. He plays every day. Skeens pitches once every 5.
How about Detroit having a banner year, too? A lot of good things happening in the wonderful world of sports and the NBA and the NHL.
I got an idea for a Pirates manager.
Hold on. And I got to get to a break. NBA and the NHL finals just days away. We'll be back.
The biggest reason Metropolitan Window Company has been in business since 1978 is our huge list of satisfied customers.
John, Maggie, and Justin Schmutzer here from Metropolitan Window Company, Pittsburgh's locally owned and family-operated window and door company for over 47 years.
When you choose Metropolitan Window Company, you're getting expertise and attention to detail from a trusted business that puts your needs first.
You're also getting our exclusive Infinity from Marvin 100% fiberglass windows that are built for life.
The most important part of a window is the framing. Fiberglass frames won't lose their dimensional integrity. They're the strongest, longest-lasting window you can buy.
And right now, you can save 30% and get 18-month no-interest financing on every window and door product we offer.
Stop by one of our showrooms, visit us at metropolitanwindows.com, or give us a call at 412-655-8411.
PA 1565.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Hearing the news every day is one thing. Hearing it hit home is something altogether different. That's the difference you hear every day on KDKA Radio. We go beyond the benign headlines and bring the news to life, your life. So stay here and hear the news and what a difference it makes. 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
It is 60 degrees in Pittsburgh International at 12:30. I'm Rob Taylor. Several people are facing charges after a 17-year-old girl who was reported missing out of Beaver County was found safe Saturday in Ohio. Police in New Sewickley Township say Isabella Phillips was reported missing Friday after she was last seen walking in the area of Glen Eden Road and Ziegler Road. Saturday, she was found in the central Ohio area safe. New Sewickley police say, quote, several people are facing criminal charges in connection with the incident. No further details were given. News of that planned partnership between U.S. Steel and Nippon Steel, which was announced and backed by President Trump, still reverberating around the region. Jason Ritchie is the chair of the Allegheny County Republican Committee. He joined KDKA Radio this morning, told Rob Pratt.
Yeah, I think this is the greatest economic news that Pittsburgh's had in decades. People need to realize that this could create in our area 12,000 new jobs. We're talking about $3.5 billion to revitalize the Mon work.
Trump said there would be no layoffs. Workers would each get $5,000 bonuses, and there would be $2.2 billion in investments in just the Mon Valley alone due to the partnership. KDKA Radio News Time, 12:31. Next updates at 1. I'm Rob Taylor on the Voice of Pittsburgh News Radio KDKA.
Here's a few questions for you from California Psychics. Do your workdays seem to go on forever? Is your career progression as fast as downtown traffic? Or does your boss still not know your name?
Hey, you, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Terry, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
It's time to read the career warning signs and talk to California Psychics. We're always on hand to give you the career guidance you need. You see, we only connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So you could soon be telling your boss where to stick that report.
Where are you going, Terry? Terry!
Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
Here's the hard truth. Every 6 years, your dollar loses half its buying power. That means a $100,000 savings account today could feel like $50,000 by 2031. And you see it every time you fill up your tank, buy groceries, or pay the bills. Prices are up. Your dollar is down. But there's a simple way to protect the value of your savings with something real, something proven. Gold. An asset that holds its value over time. That's why I trust Noble Gold Investments. They make it simple to protect your savings with physical gold or silver. No high-pressure sales, no call centers. Just honest guidance, one-on-one support, and transparent pricing. And right now, when you open a qualified account, Noble Gold will send you a free 10-ounce silver American flag bar as a thank you. Head to noblegoldinvestments.com today to learn more. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Not as chilly this afternoon with hazy sunshine and a breeze. We're up to 66. Mostly clear tonight, low 43. Warmer tomorrow with some hazy sun, high 75. Breezy and warm Tuesday up to 84. For AccuWeather, I'm John Feerick, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
All right, I'll be back with you Monday. Is the Mon Valley on its way to being changed forever? Man, we'll find out on Monday. Big deals happening over there. Colin Dunlap, 2 to 6. Catch up with you first of the week. Right here, KDK.
All right, here we go. Final two segments, Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show, as we always do in the second hour. Even during the offseason, we spend a little time talking about the National Football League with our good friend Ted Arnaud. Teddy, let's talk about those Cleveland Browns, and could Shedeur Sanders be gaining some ground? Some good news coming out of their recent OTAs. Go ahead, please, and good morning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It sounds like he's at least holding his own on the third place spot. But, it's still really early to tell. They're going to need 4 quarterbacks going in. So I think he's got a shot at being the third quarterback right now.
Teddy, I think he's going to be really disappointed with being the third quarterback, and his dad's going to start jumping up and down and screaming, yelling, and they were going to have that domestic unrest that everybody was worried about at Cleveland.
That could happen. Look at how many quarterbacks they've had over the last 5 years, how many coaches. I mean, it's going to be a mess no matter what.
I'm just hoping that your friend Joe Flacco gets the chance to be the starting quarterback so we can pick against them all season.
Me too. I'd love it.
So
It'll be fun.
This time period where now teams are into their not mandatory, but one of those the old like when you were in high school, you used to say this is a optional practice, which meant you better be there. That's kind of what all these teams are into now with these OTAs, where they're kind of everybody's together and getting coached up a little bit more. It's one of those types of things where now you kind of read in to see who is going to be a team player, who's going to be a contract issue, and what's going to go on. Do you think the Steelers are going to get into one of those long, protracted, Steeler holdout, T.J. Watt, end of summer type thing where he doesn't practice until he's got a new contract done?
He might. I mean, this is his shot at the big bucks, but I think the Steelers will work it out with him. He's just such a pivot player for them. He and Cam are, if you're going to look at two players that really personify the Steelers right now, it's those two. And Cam's pretty well settled in, and they need to get Mason. They need to get TJ in.
Well, the other problem that we have in that situation, Ted, is if you continue to wait, you run the risk of somebody else leapfrogging the Myles Garrett contract and setting the bar even higher, because that's how these things work. Everybody wants to, as soon as somebody establishes I'm the highest paid player at X position, the next guy that's up is going to jump that and, leapfrog it. And all of a sudden, that's how we as agents think is, our guy's better than that, or our guy's the new name, the fresh face. He deserves to leapfrog that other contract. So it only makes sense for the Steelers to try to do something sooner rather than later, or else the price of poker goes up.
I agree. They need to lock it in. they need to solve all their mystery problems and get going. I think, look, they've got some good young players coming in. They need to solidify their experienced players, and they might be able to make a run after something this year. I'm convinced that they've got a shot at maybe making the playoffs. Who knows?
I was talking to Greg last segment about, the Steelers. Some say they're, reloading. Some people say they're rebuilding. Where would you put them right now, Ted?
I'd say they're rebuilding. I think they've got, if you look at some of the players that they've added, you look at combining them with some of the players that they had that did not really have a good shot because of injuries or other things like Roman Wilson. I think they're in a rebuilding mode, and I think a lot of the draft choices, a lot of the trades they've made are going to add value to that. I mean, they got rid of some problem players. I think they've added some really good players, and I think having a consistency at quarterback, and I don't at this point, whether it's Mason Rudolph or Aaron Rodgers, let's just get it going so these guys can start getting used to having the ones play together.
Yeah, and I do follow or subscribe to that theory that you need your quarterback to be the leader of your team, and everybody has to kind of buy into, hey, this is the guy. When he steps into the huddle, everybody shuts up and listens, and I don't know that Rudolph gives you that option, but I also think that half of the team right now thinks that Aaron Rodgers is just too much of a goofball, too much of a outside the norm type of guy to gain that respect when he comes into the huddle. But maybe I'm wrong.
I agree with you on that. I think, you just look at the track record over the last 3 years. I mean, he's had an injury year and two losing years. So I'm not sure that he's going to add a whole lot. He's a Hall of Fame player, I'm sure. But I would love to see them just get going. And I think Mason Rudolph can step in there. They might find something along the way, but you need a leader right now. And I think Mason Rudolph, given the opportunity, can be that leader.
I want to go back to Shedeur Sanders and why the Steelers probably or maybe did decide to pass on him, because he didn't have enough athleticism. They were hoping maybe they could get another Justin Fields. They were maybe even hoping to keep Justin Fields, but I think because he was yanked out of the lineup after doing pretty well, I think his mind was made up there that he was going to take a better offer and get out of town, because I think the Steelers could have matched the Jets' offer. But do you think maybe Shedeur Sanders, they passed on him because he wasn't as mobile as far as running the football, Ted?
I think it was the whole package. Remember, he came in for an interview. The interview went poorly, and he did not show with sterling numbers in any of the workouts. So I think it was the whole package that they looked at and didn't think there would be a value add there.
Yeah, and, people have been trying to analyze this thing with him, and did he throw some interviews? Did he try to not get drafted at certain places and have a bad interview? I would think that he would have not done that with the Steelers because his dad has a relationship with Mike Tomlin. And how does that information get out that he had a bad interview with the Pittsburgh Steelers? No writer is sitting in the room and knowing what's going on with that interview. So that type of report that gets out always intrigues me. Is like, how does somebody know that he had a bad interview with the Pittsburgh Steelers? Was a coach mad at him for doing what he did? Is that how it gets out?
That's what I would think. That those locker rooms are pretty leaky. It's kind of like the White House these days. People just can't wait to spread stuff. So you talk to their favorite reporter or whoever's in the room, and you just give a little bit of a hint. Next thing you know, it's a story. So it's not too different than a lot of other things.
Ted, they need some. I'm sorry. They need some plumbers like the Richard Nixon days.
Well, here's what happens. If there was nobody in the room, it's their word against whomever, and they're not going to comment on what a reporter writes. A lot of times people just throw stuff up and see if it sticks. Sad to say. I mean, we've been doing it on this show for 25 years.
Yeah,
I mean,
we get some sticky things every once
yes,
in a while.
Yes, we do. Look, I honestly...
What was a taxi driver? Are you talking to me? Because I'm the only one in the room.
Well, but I'm going to tell you something. Whether you like Shedeur Sanders, and they talked about how, he cost himself multi-millions of dollars by dropping in the draft. You have to admit, his father has done a good job keeping him in check and with discipline to the point where he's handled this thing pretty flawlessly. And if you're his agent, you have to be happy how he's represented himself.
Wait. What's been handled flawlessly? After the draft, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, because the draft was butchered.
I totally agree. I think they tried some strategy. I think he tried to do what his dad did to make cornerbacks get paid good money by doing the splash thing, and it didn't work. But I think he's reeled things in, and I think he's handled himself pretty well.
Well, we'll see.
Spoken never so true as an agent.
If I represented him, I would be saying yes. He's been absolutely tremendous.
I mean, he didn't even want to talk about Travis Kelce's hair on his back that everybody's talking about right now. All right, so Teddy,
we're just waiting for the right endorsement product.
Hey, I like that idea.
I told him we need the steel chainsaw weed whacker things.
I love that kid. Teddy, if you're right now looking at the Steelers, I look at the secondary. Mika getting a little bit older. I think we're expecting a whole lot more out of Joey Porter than it really is to be expected at this stage of his career. What happens to this secondary? Forget about the defensive line. T.J. Watt's going to sign. All that stuff continues. You've got Alex Highsmith, who's playing at a high level. Herbeck, I think, is ready to take the next step. What about this secondary of the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Well, I think you've got a lot of experience. You got some young guys coming in. I've read some good stuff about Dante Camden at cornerback. But it's going to be a working process. And Joey Porter is going to have to step up, going to have to take away all of these penalties that he usually gets, and he gets them in bunches. I think, it looks like they've got a pretty good secondary. I think, a lot's going to have to come out in preseason, but right now I like their secondary.
I think you guys are underselling Joey Porter Jr. I think he's actually pretty good, and he's maturing.
I think we're just putting too much pressure on him. I think the fans are. I think he's got the ability, but that's like playing quarterback on the defensive side of the football. It's going to take time, man.
He's getting paid. What do you mean the we fans are putting pressure on him? We expect him to live up to his contract. He's a professional athlete. Even these guys in college are professionals.
Well, let me tell you something. He's got to crawl before he walks. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back. Ted and I and the counselor, Greg Diolis. This is the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show, KDKA.
It's the little things. The information you need. People you know. The little things that make a big difference. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Hey folks, NASCO Roofing, the region's roofing leader, continues to exceed customer expectations. Carol from Pittsburgh praised NASCO Roofing for their quality workmanship and the timely manner NASCO completed her new roof. She loved how friendly and easy NASCO Roofing was to work with. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Carol. Get NASCO on your roof next. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO Roofing, NASCO.
Lunch was great. Lawrenceville is such a fun spot.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and if Creon could help.
I really need funding to expand my inventory.
Swish Funding can help you expand inventory, upgrade equipment, and boost your cash flow.
Well, okay, but I need funding fast.
Swish Funding provides funding from $25,000 to $2 million with payment terms tailored to your needs and cash in your account in less than 24 hours.
So what's the catch?
No catch. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000, you could qualify. Just go to swishfunding.com to apply. That's swishfunding.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
It's the Black and Gold Sunday Show on News Radio KDKA. Brought to you by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
All right, one thing we've learned from Cleveland Browns OTA, Dylan Gabriel is not professional material, at least at this point. What's the mindset of those type of quarterbacks who are kind of gunslingers? They're not too big, too small. They're just enough to plug in, and they get as much name, image, and likeness money as they can. But the chances of them making the NFL, there was only one Fran Tarkins and Drew Bledsoe. What's the mindset if you're a young quarterback like that? Do you think about changing positions, or do you actually think you have a chance to make it in the National Football League?
Teddy, the kid was a third-round draft pick. Rob's burying him because he can't complete a pass in his underwear in May.
Very important. Very important.
He's not done yet. He's just, he's picking it up. He's learning it. He was in the national championship hunt. Why? What are they saying in Cleveland that is so bad about what he's doing?
He just can't get it done, man. Just can't even complete a touchdown pass at OTAs.
Well, the people that are watching them don't know what they're talking about.
All right, so as we get back to our Pittsburgh Steelers timeline, Mike Tomlin, does he go more than 5, less than 5, over 5? And is it pretty much one season at a time? Ted, or no?
Well, I mean, it's whatever he wants. It's not. I don't think there's any timeline that they're going to put on Mike Tomlin. He may at some point just say, that's it. He may have his first losing season and have a change of heart, but the Steelers aren't going to do anything, I think, with him.
5 gets you to the new collective bargaining agreement, and the Steelers are going to have to pay a lot more money out to teams or to players and things like that, and they're going to have to shave money somewhere. They're going to let them loose after the new collective bargaining agreement.
So that's 5 years?
Yes.
Okay. Makes sense.
2030.
All right, so speaking of letting loose or getting a new deal, T.J. Watt, where is this thing right now in your mind? And what kind of money does he sign for? Quarterback money?
No. He signs for $1 more than Myles Garrett got, which is $40 million a year, right?
Okay, well, that's in some cases quarterback money.
It's a 5-year extension for $200 million, $1.
If there was anything out there, Teddy, that could attract you enough, who would you be willing to at least talk about possible trade with T.J. Watt?
Oh, you need to get a lot. I mean, you need to get somebody who can step in and play, and some draft picks, and some pretty high draft picks. But I don't think they're in that mind frame, if you want to know the truth.
Yeah, they're not going to move on from him. And you remember the old days when first-round draft picks used to hold out before this current CBA situation where everybody's done in time and in camp. It used to always be that the Steelers' first-round draft pick didn't get signed until late in training camp and sometimes even the first part of the regular season. That's what the new revolution or evolution of the guy that needs a new contract that's got 1 year left on it that's not going to show up. That's always going to go down to the last week of training camp, and that's when these deals get done. When nobody does. And that always made me crazy. Nobody goes to their actual number until they're the 11th hour, so to speak.
DK Metcalf, of course, is the guy that we're all hoping can take us back to the promised land. Does he have the skill set to carry a team on his back? Is he that talented? And could they rely on him more times than not, especially if they need to go deep to come up big?
No, he's a wide receiver. A great game for a wide receiver is 5 catches. That's 5 plays. That doesn't carry a
But
team.
if he puts 3 in the end zone, I mean, that's okay.
Why? Yeah.
And he has. My question: does he have the capability to do that?
You got to have a ball that's catchable in order to get there. So if you don't have anything thrown out there.
Then you guys who are poo-pooing Aaron Rodgers, you better hope Aaron Rodgers signs with his team, or we're going to be very irrelevant this year, because you're not giving me any love on Will Howard. Mason Rudolph, okay, fine, but I got to see it first. I mean, so.
Rob, if Will Howard is playing quarterback for the Steelers this year, we're in trouble.
But wait. What happens if he actually looks good and does? Look at Ben. Ben got thrusted into a situation, and I'm not comparing him to Ben, but Ben was just out of the MAC. I mean, kind of a first-round guy, but nobody really thought all that much about him, or you wouldn't have had Tommy Maddox starting. I mean, he's got the skill set. Stranger things have happened.
Not many stranger than
Brock Purdy doesn't even have
stranger.
Brock Purdy, Ted, you can jump in at any time. This is your show, too. Seriously, Brock Purdy does not, look at him. He didn't have any of even near the skill set as Will Howard. I mean, this guy's a pretty good player, Teddy.
He's a good player, but I think what Greg's saying is you got to go through the progression to get to him first. And you've got, no matter what, I think Mason's going to be either the starter or the number 2. And so if, let's say that, they sign Rodgers, so at the best he'll be probably third string. So you got to go through the progression before you're even going to get to him. That's not saying that he's a bad quarterback. It's just saying that you've got a lot more experienced, talented people that you're going to go through. And I truly believe that there's probably going to be at least one more quarterback, even if it's not Aaron Rodgers, that's going to have some talent.
Please don't make it be Kirk Cousins.
No, it could be somebody else, but it's going to be somebody that might take over right behind Mason Rudolph. I don't see anybody really out there that looks good that's going to go ahead of Mason Rudolph right now, other than Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, Ted, if we got Will Howard at quarterback, we'd be better off with Mo Howard throwing to Shemp and Curley.
I'll give you that one.
Look at the grouse. Look at the grouse.
What's wrong with Shemp and Curley?
I know.
Good.
Oh,
very entertaining.
Goodness. Paging Dr. Fine, Dr. Mo, Dr. Howard.
Call me Dr. Howard. Call me Dr. Fine.
Anyway, as far as acquisitions and possibility, Pickens is gone. What do you make of him down there in Dallas? I watched a lot of footage this week on the NFL Network. He seems to be the nicest guy in town now. But do you think he's got that kind of skill set and he can keep it within his ears to become a perennial Pro Bowl player? Because for them to get rid of him, but if you look at the Steelers, Plexico, Mike Wallace, Antonio Brown, this guy, they've had some trouble reeling in the reins on some of these very talented wide receivers. But do you think he can actually make it work down there?
Ted, we got to get this guy.
You asked two different questions. Does he have the talent?
Yes.
Probably the answer is
But can
yes.
he reel it in?
But can he keep it between his ears? The answer is probably no. Something's going to happen that's going to trigger him off. And you're even in a bigger spotlight down in Dallas. So I think that's an environment made for him to go off the rails.
Ted, I think the bigger point is we got to get Rob a hobby. If he's worried about watching DK or George Pickens at wide receiver in late May in a training camp video, you're wasting too much time on things that don't matter.
You got to remember, you and Ted have significant others and a life. I have no life. They took that away from me 20 years ago. All I do now is go home, do videos, cut my grass, and come back here and play radio. And I must say, it's always enjoyable spending time with you two knuckleheads, but I love you. Teddy, always a pleasure. Have a great week.
You too, guys.
All right. So what's on the menu today?
I think we've got some leftovers of Mission Barbecue to warm up today for Pappy.
So does that mean you pray over it? What's Mission Barbecue?
Mission Barbecue's Joe
restaurant?
Thomas's place that created it's veterans. It goes to benefit some veterans, but there's a very nice Mission Barbecue out on Steubenville Pike. It's barbecue stuff: brisket, pulled pork,
all good,
smoked salmon.
All right. Listen, you need to get to DJ Ribs sometime. They got good stuff.
Oh, I've been to DJs.
Man, the original place.
I miss my man, Dewey Guida.
Me too. A lot of memories down in Reno, Succoch, and I love it. All right, listen, by the way, he's the coach of the Steubenville Big Red. That is Greg Diolis. I'm Rob Pratt, your Pratt Pack. Alonzo Anderson, we couldn't do it without him, the best in the business. Ted Arnaud will do it again next week, but I'm back tomorrow night after local news at 6 on KDKA. Have a great day. Rob Taylor next with the news at 1.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Could be one of the biggest economic in the history of the region. Mayor of West Mifflin, Chris Kelly.
Well, as our dear friend used to say, it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. I actually shed a few tears. I felt such relief for the family. And I thank you for your continued support on this. As the people learned more about it, they got on. And that's thanks to people like you and your station.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
The Village at St. Barnabas. The perfect place for mom.
I really need funding to expand my inventory.
Swish Funding can help you expand inventory, upgrade equipment, and boost your cash flow.
Well, okay, but I need funding fast.
Swish Funding provides funding from $25,000 to $2 million with payment terms tailored to your needs and cash in your account in less than 24 hours.
So what's the catch?
No catch. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000, you could qualify. Just go to swishfunding.com to apply. That's swishfunding.com.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and almost 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. And if you think this is just a cosmetic problem, think again. Varicose or spider veins, if left untreated, can lead to swollen or discolored legs, cramping, the inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, even worse, blood clots, which can travel to other parts of your body. But here's the good news. Advanced Medical Vein Treatment Centers offers plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up. Grab your phone, take down this number, and call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your vein problems will not go away on their own, and in time can lead to major health issues. Call Advanced Medical Vein today for free information on fast and easy solutions that are covered by most insurance plans, Medicare included. Call 800-587-1248. That's 800-587-1248 today.
Did you know that now you can listen to all your favorite stations, including this one, shows, and even podcasts, all on the Odyssey app? Download it now.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh, W261AX Pittsburgh.
From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 62 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 1 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. The person who died after being struck by a pickup truck early Saturday morning in Washington has been identified as 51-year-old Stephen Elliott of Washington. The Washington County coroner has not ruled out that Elliott may have suffered a medical event prior to being hit by the truck. Driver of the truck got out of the vehicle in the 800 block of Jefferson Avenue, thinking he had struck an animal. Instead, it was a person, Elliott. Washington Police Department is investigating the incident. Well, the Food and Drug Administration has approved a new COVID vaccine made by Moderna, not a replacement shot, but a second option for all adults 65 and older, and for people ages 12 to 64 who have at least one health condition that puts them at increased risk from the virus. Dr. William Schaffner is a professor of infectious diseases at the Vanderbilt University Medical Center in Nashville.
This vaccine can be a lower dose because it's been more refined. It focuses more on the important parts of the virus that our body responds to and provides protection against COVID. It's a way vaccine scientists have updated the vaccine, have improved it to make it better for all of us.
Several people are facing charges after a 17-year-old girl who was reported missing out of Beaver County was found safe Saturday in Ohio. New Sewickley Township Police say Isabella Phillips was reported missing on Friday after she was last seen walking in the area of Glen Eden Road and Ziegler Road.